howdy everyone, Lost City here, back in action for more blog traction. And I don't exactly like to be political in the sense that I have to be political, but largely that's what it comes down to, like 50 to 60% of the time, in all honesty. And yeah, today's is one of those times, as I have discovered over this past week or so, that literally the government and President 45 is literally trying to erase my existence. No joke. Like, just full out, you don't exist type of situation. And it's the most blatant, like, dictator-esque move I've seen since the Muslim ban that he tried to do. And it really harkens back to my fears of what could happen with them being in control. And it's not pretty at all. And I certainly don't like the idea of this kind of stuff happening and whatnot. And I'm very, very happy and grateful that there's a lot of people out there that are standing for issue. But the very fact this came up in the first place is ridiculous. And it's so weird because it's such a blatant attack that it's like, how did this even get through as a thing? They're literally erasing transgendered. Literally erasing that word and everything. And I was like, are they trying to get rid of the bathroom rights? Are they trying to get rid of, like, getting our pills or something? No, they're literally trying to erase the definition, the word that's there. I'm like, why though? It's a descriptor over everything else. Do you really hate this idea that people like to be themselves? It's very aggravating and confusing to me because they keep putting these weird situations where it's just like, we have to get rid of them, we have to describe this as this, and it's just like, biology changes all the time, science changes all the time. Why would you make a science thingy so static, so just like, it can't have any more? When people evolve, when biology evolves, when science happens, you keep going forward, you really do. I hate the fact that Pluto's not a planet anymore, but it stopped being a planet because it stopped having the descriptions and whatnot, and I hated it to begin with. I absolutely did. I understand why people hate this new transgender thing that's quote-unquote trending. I mean, it's not trending, but just the way they describe it. And look, I get the fact that people are like, I didn't know trans people existed because, you know, we're a small community in comparison to the vast majority of everything else. I didn't know gay people existed until I was 16 years old. And that's because there wasn't a lot of media that was out there that was actually showing it up and whatnot. And then I started diving down in. I was like, oh, wow, like all these things and whatnot. And just, yeah, it just kind of came to be that way. It's really just a matter of exposing yourself more and more to things to get used to certain situations and whatnot. So if you're this hardcore conservative person that's like all the way in Alabama or something like that, and you don't like really go on those internet forums and whatnot, I could see why someone would be upset over this whole entire transgender thing and being like, you know, there's only two genders and the same as two sexes situation. I get where that's coming from. It's wrong. It's not right. And if you keep going with that mentality, it's absolutely positively makes you not a bad person, but like the closest thing to a bad person out there, because you're not willing to accept any of these little situations and whatnot. And you're not willing to grow as a person, you know? Like, it's like, it's just at that point. And it's very clear that someone like that would do a lot of bad things just for that second fact. And it hurts me the most that just, they would so blatantly do it when we're just striving towards, like, getting more recognition and more people are out there that know about trans people. And honestly, this is probably one of the best times to be a trans person in history, honestly, except for maybe like being a Native American and the whole entire Two-Spirit thing situation, because that's the thing too. Native Americans. They have a very interesting culture. I'm not saying that they all had the same one or whatever, but there was a two-spirit thing going on there, and that's the closest to modern equivalent of transgenders that I could think of. Honestly, that was actually like recorded in history and whatnot. Yeah, there are transgender people out there in history form and whatnot, but you have to dive down deep because we were destroyed by a lot of these things called Nazis, because Nazis were like, let's get rid of the first people that have very little representation and can be oppressed very easily, and then we'll move on from there. And that's how it happens, folks. That's how such a thing happens, where they come after the smaller people that can't talk, and then they come after a bigger group than that, but still small, still a small amount, and they keep doing it and doing it and doing it to the point of where all the people they don't like are in concentration camps and whatnot. That's what's happening to a lot of immigrants that people are not really like taking comfort in. And frankly, I'm very sad that I've sitted on it for so much. And honestly, I really shouldn't. And that's on my fault. I'm on the wrong side of history there because I'm letting it pass on by. Even if I do give that information and whatnot to people, it's horrific and terrible. And I absolutely hate what they're doing with our immigration and just in general, this uninvited attitude that they have here. But the Muslim ban is completely horrible, what they were trying to do. And it was very obvious from the get-go that they were trying to cause shit. And now they're doing the same shit again with transgender people. And it's just ridiculous, the amount of zero tolerance that they have towards such things that are just like people just existing. Like, that's what it is. That's how zero tolerance it is. Like, you can't tell me that there's some sort of benefit towards trans people for this particular moment right here. There isn't. If this law gets passed, if somehow this legislation keeps going through, or whatever the hell it's supposed to be, because I honestly don't know. I just know that it's literally trying to define the two genders as having the same genitalia that you're born with. And that's stupid on a number of reasons. And it's just maddening to me. Maddening that it's gotten this far. That they just literally just gonna extinct people. Just erase them across the face of the earth just because they can. Just because they're just existing. Whew, way too confusing for me. I don't need that. That's what they're telling me right now. And it hurts a lot. It really, really does. There's people out there that are like that people just can't handle people existing on this realm. And I joke a lot about like people putting macaroni on, putting macaroni and ketchup together, or pineapple on pizza and things like that. But I would never want these people out of existence. I would not want that. Just the full out existence thing. I get not wanting it around you. I get not wanting to see it in front of you. But to literally go, let's make sure they don't exist, is a whole new level of stupid ass piece of shit bullshit that I've never seen before. And it's so aggravating, frustrating that this is not the first time they pull this kind of bullshit and we just sit there idly by, just doing nothing with these people. Just, it hurts so much. And I'm very, very glad that the midterms are coming up so I can freaking vote. God, it's like the only thing that I could possibly do to make sure some shit goes on and works out for me. I mean, I'm in California, so I can only do so much on my side. For the most part, I am fine in terms of being transgendered and being in a safe spot, because California is that kind of spot. I'm not saying it's like a full-on like safe haven and whatnot, because it's not. I'm saying that I'm glad I am not in the South. I'm glad I'm not in the Northeast. I'm glad I'm not anywhere around those areas that would have a lot of conservative people, would have a lot of people that would ignore such plights and whatnot. And to have this law enforced and whatnot is going to really ruin a lot of things. And as for someone like me who's already taking pills and whatnot, I'll be fucked up for life no matter what. Like, just simple fact. If I don't get my pills proper, if I don't take them, then I will have a messed up system on myself because I have so much estrogen already in me that I shouldn't be having in me. And that's a big problem. And I don't think they seem to understand that that's a health risk issue and whatnot. Why would they want to understand if they don't even want me to exist, you know? So it's aggravating that this situation is coming to pass, and I hate it. I really do. That's just kind of the way things are though now, aren't they? But moving on to some brighter things, I do have a new dress, as you can see, right there. I should have some pictures and whatnot about other things and all that such. But for now, it's just one of the things I was able to get. Torrent, I think it's called, had a buy one get one free sale, and I was just like, I have to go on this thing. And I really do want to get more dresses, get more shirts, get more girly things to feel girly and whatnot. And I know that's not necessarily like a good thing to want, because if I'm trans, I pass. I don't need to factually pass. It's a big problem within the trans community right now in terms of wanting to pass or not, because it's a bit of a problematic statement when you do that, in all honesty. But for someone like me that's from the little older generation of trans people, we're kind of stuck in our ways in that situation. And we definitely do want it to be where, like, if you're trans, you're a woman. That's straight up, just that's how it is. We say it that way. I say it that way. And me personally, it's hard to... It's hard to keep up that motif of I'm trans and I'm a woman, therefore that's it. That's period. It's hard. Like, I've just been wanting to play the role so much, I suppose, that it just kind of gotten to me to where, like, I have to do all these things. I understand that I don't have to. I'm trans, I'm girl, that's it. That's period. 1v1 sort of situation. I mean, even Sonic Fox is out there in the VGC community, the fighting game community, going trans women are women. And I just like, oh, it feels good to hear someone in my community, in the fighting game community, say this like literal like thing. This goat out here, the game player of like the freaking year with Dragon Ball Z Fighters and all this such, just going like, yeah, I want to raise all the turfs, I want to do all this, and it feels good to like have that, because I feel like I'm living in a world that I could actually live in. And then I see something like trans people don't exist, literal situation that Trump's trying to put through, and it hurts so much. But just it's confusing is what I'm trying to say here, I suppose, is the best way I could put it. And I wish it wasn't that confusing, but it just is. It's just that way the situation is. Life gives you a whole bunch of things to understand who you are, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be easy to actually pick all those pieces and put it together and be like, yeah, this is who I am. So I still have a lot of insecurities and whatnot when it comes to me being a woman and whatnot, and I'm slowly getting there. And I feel like wearing these dresses and getting themselves, and slowly, like integrating myself to just wearing them on a basis. Like, I'm going to be wearing that at home, maybe probably to like a friend's house and things like that. But that'll be it for right now. And then later on, I could probably do that in public. And I think that will work in terms of how I keep going. But yeah, that's just the situation that I'm in right now. It's just this thing that just showed up, and like, wow. At least I'm getting better at it, and I'm going forward with the situation, and I'm happy. I'm happy that people are fighting out there. There's more unity out there against this terrible policy than I thought there would be, and it's really nice to see. And the only thing we really need to do now, in all honesty, is go out and vote and make sure this kind of crap happens. I'm not going to be one of those people that tell you go vote blue no matter what, because frankly, this is what got us into the mess. Just vote for who you want to vote for. Just vote. Just have that voice out there. That's what I want people to do. Me personally, I'm a Green Party affiliate. I'm not saying that I'm going to vote Green Party fully and utterly. But it's just, I'm tired of this two-party system of having a horrible, horrible thing. and it ruins a lot of things out there. And this is what it got us to this point where we're trying to raise trans people in America. And I fear that I may have to leave the country if this gets passed, in all honesty. I really have been considering it. And the same thing happened with the Muslim ban and with Trump being elected as president, seeing these little signs and whatnot. It's terrifying. It really, really is. And it's just, what else can I do, honestly? In this situation, I might move to Canada. I might move to Japan, maybe even the UK even. These are all things that would be pretty interesting. I think it would definitely change a lot of these things that's happening with my channel and whatnot. I don't expect these things to happen, but they're thoughts in my head. And it's clear to me that I may have to get a passport soon. And I'll probably have to go through that process or whatnot. Figure out what I have to do there and whatnot. But, yeah. Aside from that, I've been doing fine. I've been putting up things on a different channel, and I'll eventually reveal that channel to you if you haven't seen it already. And it's something that I hope is going to be a nice surprise. It's going to be a nice little bit, I think. And it should help, honestly, well, when it comes to a number of things that I have planned in motion and whatnot. But for the most part, I've just been trying to figure out what I want to do with the rest of this year and how I want to transition, how I want to go about it. And I think I have a nice little way of going about it. And for now, the plan is just to get a bunch of dresses and whatnot, just dress up and have that little thing and do that. But a more immediate situation, a more immediate problem that I have right now is that I do not have my spirulactone. And my spirulactone, if you don't know what that is, it's for blocking testosterone. And I don't currently have that right now. And I'm a little bit worried because I have my estrogen. I have that just fine. So I'll be fine on that. But I had to go see the doctor. And the earliest time I could go see the doctor is November 20th. And that sucks because it's just like, this is going to be all that time I'm going to have extra testosterone that I would not be having. And I'm not sure if that's going to be okay or not. And I'm very, very afraid that it's going to mess up my body in ways that I do not predict. And it will be very scary. But some of it's on my fault because I decided to just go ahead and not talk to my hormone therapist or things like that. Or set up these appointments and whatnot, which I probably should with my primary caretaker, primary doctor, not caretaker. But it just happened the way that it did, and frankly, my hormone therapist is not the best. They talk very fast to the point where I'm just kind of confused, and it's just like they don't listen to my side at all. And it's just like, when do I come in next appointment? Like, you don't need to come in, just give me a test result. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. So now I'm past the point of the test result mattering to go get it right now, because I literally have to get approval from a doctor to go do that to begin with, and then also go to a hormone therapist. Probably a new one, honestly. If I'm going to be honest with you, I'm probably going to try to get a new one. And that's going to suck because they might try to gatekeep. And I'm going to be like, yo, I've been on this for like a year, so shut the fuck up. I don't need this. Just give me my damn pills. That's all I need. That's exactly what I need. It's horrific what's happening with everything. But without the shaky bits, we're moving on. We're moving on with the situation. Again, I'm trying to make this vlog more of a vlog than it is just a transitioning thing, but these things will happen because that's who I am. This is what I have to deal with. This is the whole situation. So it's just one of those things. Just these are. So yeah. Thank y'all for watching. And I'll see you next time. I'll probably complain about other things. Or I'll probably talk about the election. I don't know. I still need to figure out all those things. It's gonna be interesting. Oh, and I have Extra Life next week. The whole day of just playing games. Oh. I had to figure out what I want to do there. I've been busy. Till next time, sayonara. Bye-bye.